Let's talk to Alpesh Patel, the CEO of the private equity company Parthenium Partners. Alpesh, we're going to get this warning from Jeremy Hunt today about declinism and the impact that it would be having on inward investment, so talking down the UK economy. Is it declinism or is it realism?
In a way, it's neither, because when you look at the data as opposed to the narrative, the data surprises even me, given that you would think, oh, well, post-Brexit and I was a Remainer, surely things are declining. Actually, the realistic side of the data is last year, inward investment, large capital investment into this country was 4.6 billion, more than it was the year before. If you look at jobs created from foreign direct investment, they're up over the last 4 years. If you look at total economic impact of government-involved projects, that's up 82% year on year from last year compared to the year before. So looking at the data, it's quite surprising. There might be pockets where you think, oh, well, we're not making enough cars, etc. But actually, overall, the government-involved projects to bring foreign direct investment into the UK and boost jobs, those numbers are actually increasing, specifically in advanced engineering, biotech, environmental, electronics, life sciences, those areas where we're already leading the world.
Okay, I'm going to take a few different parts of that, if I may. The first, in terms of foreign direct investment, do you therefore refute Labour's data that it was talking about in terms of inward investment into this country, which were based on UN figures?
Well, the thing about looking at the UN is then you're not comparing the UK to itself year on year. You're comparing it to the rest of the world, which can be a little bit disingenuous for this reason.
But isn't that the United point, Kingdom's though? If it's foreign direct investment, it's international capital that is floating across the world. So isn't that the point? It's where do we sit in the grand scheme of things?
We don't have the GDP as share of the world as we did 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Neither does America. In other words, if you're looking at a growing world, of course, countries which are growing at 10% like India, which have their own competitive advantages, are going to get a bigger share of foreign direct investment. But is ours increasing year on year? Yes, it is. And that, I think, is a more important measure than are we getting as the same growth as, say, India or Vietnam or Thailand. So I think the UN figures can be a little bit bit of a sort of a red herring. I think you really want to compare, are we improving year on year, particularly in those important sectors such as advanced computing, engineering, as I mentioned.
Okay, you mentioned engineering briefly. On the front page of the FT today, Rolls-Royce's new chief is warning that the company is, and I quote, a burning platform. He's given a very bleak assessment to employees about the future of a UK engineering group, a prime group in the UK economy.
Yes, again, if you look at specific companies during specific periods of a cycle, I grant you can find lots of areas where you can say, well, wait a minute, what about that one? What about that one? I'm looking at the numbers overall in terms of the number of projects, foreign direct investment projects. Are they increasing in the UK? Are the number of jobs increasing overall? Is the number of capital investment increasing? Are the number of foreign direct investment mergers and acquisitions increasing overall? I could point to you to companies which are doing really well and ones which aren't. Rolls-Royce will be able to compete and will come out of this. All companies go through cyclical troughs and peaks. But I wouldn't necessarily put the blame on that at the government. It might be just that Rolls-Royce need to have internal management changes to ensure they're competitive. The answer isn't always necessarily that the government's done something wrong. It is a private enterprise.
Which they have done. They've got a new boss at the helm. Thanks very much, Alpesh. Now let's turn our